our network of games. Of course, we'll have the Boston Bruins here on 98.5. The Sports Hub coming up at 7:30. So we got 90 minutes with you. This is the spot for you to react to the Patriots, maybe even the Rams game last night. We'll take a look at the NBA Cup and that wretched floor and format, by the way. And the wretched Atlanta Hawks, who are playing without 4 of their starters tonight. So way to be hyped up for the NBA Cup. We'll get into that. And then the Bruins, some news out there. And also the Hall of Fame nominees. First-timers. There may be some interesting names for you there. We'll have that for you for the next 90 minutes. Again, the phone number 617-779-0985. You can join us on YouTube as well. I try to read all the chats. So we talked about it. The Patriots now have the Rams off a loss. On paper, it looks like a coaching mismatch, right? Sean McVay, Gerard Mayo. But how can the Patriots carry over what they did well versus the Bears and do that against the Rams? Number one thing you got to look at is defense and how they stop the run. You know, can the Patriots continue to do that this week? You know, they showed a few different looks, which I want to give the credit to the coaching staff. You know, the Schooler thing, I know that was somewhat of a package, but Jonathan Jones playing, reps at safety, getting a little bit more of a look instead of the 4 linebackers you're seeing now that other linebacker up, it used to be Kyle Duggar. But you saw Pettis playing that position a little bit as well. But if you're going to beat the Patriots, you got to run on them. And just to give you a couple of the numbers when it comes to the Miami Dolphins, Tua Tagovailoa threw for 200 yards and a touchdown. He also threw an interception. Doesn't that sound like the type of day Drake May normally has? Now, he has had double touchdowns and double interception games. He had 3 turnovers just a couple of weeks ago. But Tua had 3 explosive plays. And that was really the difference in this. The other difference was the Rams had to settle for field goals. Like, you're down in the game and you're still settling for field goals. Although I admire that they want to put up points because in this league, when you are a good coach, other teams find a way to screw it up. Last night, the Dolphins didn't screw it up. When the Rams missed a field goal, bing, bang, boom, quick, the Dolphins scored a touchdown to make it a 2-score game. But I asked, how do the Patriots carry over what they did versus the Bears against the Rams? The Rams only gave up 67 yards on the ground. So that's another thing. Can the Patriots continue to run the football? If they run the football and set that edge in the trenches, Drake May, I gave you the numbers last week, but was absolutely outstanding when it came to play action. He was 5 of 7 passing on play action and threw his touchdown. The Dolphins, again, I mentioned it, had 3 plays over 20 yards. The Rams' offensive line, though, that's a weak spot. Something you could carry over from the Bears as well. They gave up 4 sacks last night. Matthew Stafford almost threw for 300 yards. He had 293 on the night. But it really didn't amount to anything, and it didn't amount to points. And we know in this league, and I would say this about the Rams, but I'm going to say it about the Dolphins too with Tua Tagovailoa. You can't beat these teams settling for field goals. You have to score touchdowns. And when I look at the Patriots, yep, they average 16 points per game. But since Drake May has taken over the last 5 games, the offense is averaging 19 points a game, almost 20 points per game. In Tom Brady's final year here in 2019, he averaged 23 points per game. That's the closest any quarterback has been to 20 points in 5 years. Again, I mentioned Stafford threw for almost 300 yards. Can he do that against the Patriots? I think he can. But like the Bears last week, they only gave DeAndre Swift 16 carries. Kyron Williams had 15 carries for 62 yards. And I talk about that passing defense, but Puka Nacua, good player, 9 catches for 98 yards last night. Cooper Kupp, he's still doing his thing. He had 7 for 80. I will say this, Christian Gonzalez this year through 10 games, and this is through Next Gen Stats. He has the second lowest completion percentage in the league. He's only behind Derek Stingley. He's also tied with Stingley for fewest yards allowed in the league. I don't want to overrate the guy. I'm just giving you the stats. If you like what you saw last week and you want to see it carry over against the LA Rams, right now their secondary is playing very well, and Christian Gonzalez is playing at an elite level. So does he take away Puka Nacua and you go Marcus Jones, Cooper Kupp? Look what Marcus Jones did last week, by the way. Really nice play on third down. This is a very similar situation from a week ago. I'll tell you this right now. I thought that DeAndre Swift would run the ball down the Patriots' throat. The last week, the Patriots gave up, 60-something yards? They've given up over 170 yards in 8 straight games. So what do I think the Rams are going to do this week? They're going to run the ball down the Patriots' throat. I still think it could be a similar situation. The Rams have lost 3 out of the last 4 road games. They struggle on the road, yet the Patriots stink at home. Matthew Stafford is on the year. He's got 2,200 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. He's been pretty solid. But the Rams' running game is what it's all about. They average 95 yards a game. Kyren Williams leads the way. He has 660 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns on the year. The Rams are only allowing 24 points per game and 340 yards per game. Can the Patriots achieve any of those numbers? Do you think they could score over 20? They're averaging 19 right now. Can they run the ball and can they stop the run? It's a very similar situation from last week. I think the Rams off a loss are going to be tough to beat. But can the Patriots win 2 games in a row? Can they win another game at home, something they've struggled with? The Patriots have lost 11 of their last 12 games to teams with losing records. And here's the key for the Rams. Kyren Williams, he's recorded 87 rushing yards in 6 of the last 8 games, and they've all led to wins when they've been favorites, and I'll give you the betting line. It was 5.5. It went down to 4.5. I never bet a team chalk 5.5. I never do it. But now that it's gone to 4.5, I lean the Rams. But I said the same thing last week for the Bears. Patriots have the 31st ranked offense in the league. They're averaging 16 points per game. They're great on special teams, something that the Rams are not. And the Patriots did get the special teams assistant from the Rams a year ago. It's much better. The Rams are a better team. They should bounce back, but they're on a short week and have to travel across the country. They're 1-3 on the road this year. They have offensive line issues. The Patriots are playing much better football under Drake May. Yep, they beat the Jets. They beat the Bears. Their only loss over the last 3 games was to the Titans, which they totally could have won. There's no doubt about it. The Patriots are playing improved football. They might be worth a look this week. I slept on them last week. I just think the coaching edge may be too much here with Sean McVay and the Rams, but no doubt about it, the Patriots have a shot this week against the Rams. We'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. I did want to just look at some of those offensive coordinator numbers over the last couple of years when it comes to the Patriots. And a lot of talk about Alex Van Pelt today. I know Mike Reese had an update on how people feel about him in the locker room. And the Bears made a move. They made their moves. And I know the Patriots were interested in their offensive coordinator, who is now fired. Would they be interested in bringing him back? We'll get into all that as we're here until 7:30 tonight. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe Murray.
having those player-only meetings, and that's what we need from them. We need that. And, anytime you have a quarterback that is as level-headed and, is a smart guy and a competitor, all those things, and a leader, I look forward to seeing that progress going forward.
All right, back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz here as well. We got a full house in this place. We got Bruins coming up 7:30 here on 98.5, the Sports Hub. See, the Jeremy Conley's here. We got Ryan Garvin back there helping out, teaching him the ropes. Stenberg's in the other room. I saw Nick Cattle's in the building as well. And Skaz is here, too. It's like, what's going on here? All these people are here tonight. It's odd. You should have seen it on Sunday. Like 9 people in here. Anyways, the Patriots won on Sunday, so maybe that's a good thing, right? More people here, all hands on deck. Just like the Patriots, right? All hands on deck. All aboard the Mayflower. This is now Drake May's team. I talked about it yesterday. His inspiring conversation and his speech to the offense at practice. It led the Patriots to victory as it was leaked out during the game. They also made some moves, whether it was Kendrick Bourne not dressing but not playing. And they're playing a little bit more of a youth movement. But it's working. It's working. And I know there's been a lot of talk about offensive coordinators today because 2 of them were fired or have been fired this year. And today it was the Bears offensive coordinator that went down. Sean Waldron. He's out. This was someone the Patriots were interested in. I've looked this up. I don't think this guy's a bad offensive coordinator. I think it's a Bears problem, not a him problem. Now, again, if you ever played center in your life, there's these hash marks, you're either on the right hash, whatever hash, and you tell the ref where you want to go. Well, there was this play on the left hash where they went sprint left. And I just went, they don't know what they're doing. He doesn't know. They don't know where they are on the football field right now. It's bad. He's out. Getsy is out. All guys, at least the young coordinator that everybody covets, right? A no-brainer of a hire. Waldron in Chicago. How many times did Cliff Kingsbury turn down the job in Chicago? How many times? 2, 3 times? It's a Chicago problem there. And, of course, with the Raiders and bringing Pierce back, they're going to have to change that whole thing around. And I'm sure McDaniels left them all in the dust with that one. I don't hear that one. I hear Belichick left the Patriots in the dust. I don't hear often where the Raiders are right now. Anyways, saw this today on the Pat McAfee show. 8 members of Matt Eberflus coaching staff have been fired or resigned in the past 14 months. The only coach that's still around from the beginning is the offensive line coach. How the hell does that happen? What was some of the offensive line? Last year it was Adrian Clem, right, guys? I'm just trying to think of the guy. Googs. Remember Googs? We hated that guy, but he won a championship.
A radio host, I believe.
Yeah, he's like doing radio now somewhere, I believe. Oh, who was the offensive line coach before that? Was it Patricia? I don't even know anymore. But we always hated the offensive line coach. We always go at the offensive coordinator. These 8 guys have been fired in 14 months. But did you see the 9 sacks? There were 9.
Someone named Cole Popovich.
Cole Popovich. Yeah, him.
There?
Him.
Your guy, Adrian Clem, I know was mentioned.
There was one more before Popovich. Who's the other guy with Popovich?
Carmen Brasillo.
But he was one of them.
Yeah, and then I'm
just saying, since Dante, there's been a cast of characters. But somehow the Bears keep their offensive coordinator with 9 sacks. Whatever. All right, so I wanted to give you these numbers. Excluding points scored by the defense or special teams, okay? The Patriots have averaged 16 points per game. In Jacoby Brissett's 5 starts, they averaged 12.4 points per game. Since Drake May, in his 5 starts, they're averaging 19.6 points per game. It is the highest points per game by a Patriots quarterback since Tom Brady left in 2019. So, I just want to leave that there. Whatever your opinion is of Drake May, whether you think he's developing, whether you think he sucks, whether you think he's making too many turnovers or not doing enough, I just want to let that sit in. Drake May's 5-game performance of 19.6 points per game in their offense is the highest since Tom Brady in 2019. Okay? Tom Brady in 2019 at 16 starts, he averaged 23.1 points per game. Drake May now comes in second at 19.6. Mac Jones had 42 starts with the Patriots. 19.3 points per game. Cam Newton started 15 games. 19.2. Bailey Zappi started 8 games. He averaged 16.8 points per game. I already mentioned Jacoby Brissett. His 5 starts, 12.4 points per game. And I can't forget Brian Hoyer because, I just got to always throw him in there. He had his 2 starts, 13.5 points per game. Brissett was worse than Hoyer. He was worse than Zappi. Drake May, closer to Brady than Mac Jones. I just had to share that number. What is Alex Van Pelt's future? And I read this report today, and it's interesting because a lot of stuff's coming out about offensive coordinators. But despite some questionable play calling this year, the players seem to love Alex Van Pelt, according to Mike Reese. One thing is clear in that locker room. They really like playing for Alex Van Pelt. So what's this report about them sniffing around? It's because they know they have their quarterback. They know. I also think they know they need an upgrade over Van Pelt. Hey, listen, maybe Van Pelt could be the quarterback's coach and they bring somebody else in. I don't know. Maybe he's just done. Who knows? There has been improvement, though. There has absolutely been improvement here by Van Pelt. I didn't think it was possible. I was clamoring for Ben McAdoo. I'm sure you guys all know that. But just giving you those numbers right there, I don't know what Alex Van Pelt's future is, but 19 points with May, 12 points with Brissett. We always talk about, was it the coaches or the quarterback? In Alex Van Pelt's case, it was absolutely the quarterback. 617-779-0985. I've been thinking about coaches for next year. Just around the league and where maybe some coaches will end up. I already mentioned to you that Cliff Kingsbury, who's doing a pretty good job right now in Washington, turned down the Bears' job multiple times for the offensive coordinator. And I know we did a little of this, Skaz, so I'm kind of interested in your opinion on this as well. But if you bring out the crystal ball on coaches for next year, I do think eventually Cliff Kingsbury's the coach in Chicago. I do. Now, I don't know what happens with the Raiders. Like, I don't know what happens. There's been talks about, Belichick going there, but if Belichick was to go there, don't you think he wants to bring Josh McDaniels with him?
So Brady's hiring Belichick now?
Yes.
Back together again?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's possible.
Should get Jimmy G over there too.
He's with the Rams. We'll see him this weekend, by the way. But Cliff Kingsbury to the Bears. The number one guy is Ben Johnson, right? Don't you think he gets his pick of the litter?
Yeah, I think wherever Ben Johnson wants to go is where he ends up.
I was reading Chad Forbes. He's a big draft guru, and he looks ahead to coaching moves and stuff. He projects Ben Johnson to the Jacksonville Jaguars with their GM Mike Disner. He predicts Bill Belichick to the Dallas Cowboys. He predicts Mike Vrabel to the New York Jets. And Aaron Glenn, the other big name, he is the defensive coordinator of the Lions. He is projected to go to the New Orleans Saints. I heard yesterday that it's the former players go back to their old team. I mean, Aaron Glenn did play for the Saints. He played for the Jets, so those are obviously two. Did Mike Vrabel never played for the Jets, right? He got traded here and then went to the Chiefs, and he was with the Steelers before that. Can Mike Vrabel really go to the Jets? Like, is that something that really could happen? And who's his quarterback? It's like the same situation in Tennessee. Anyways, I'm just forecasting. But I did want to bring up Liam Cohen, by the way. I know I said this in the crossover. If the Patriots had a shot for Liam Cohen, you make him the head coach. Right now, he is in Tampa Bay. He went back to Kentucky and got a ton of money. Went to the Rams, left, came back. They gave him a lot of money. He's a McVay guy. And I know he is local. He's from Warwick. He coached at Brown. He coached at Maine. He played at UMass. I mean, he's right now, you will see what Canales is doing. Liam Cohen's doing this with Baker Mayfield and a bunch of scrubs because all their wide receivers are hurt. That would be my next guy. Number one on the list. I know Ben Johnson went to North Carolina. What quarterback on the Patriots went to North Carolina? It's Drake May. Maybe there's a little something there. We'll take a quick call here. I got to get to the headlines as well. We do have a double header tonight. It's the Bruins and then the Celtics playing the NBA Cup. But let's talk to Mike. He's in Malden. What's up, Mike? You're on the Sports Hub.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for letting me on. You know, I was looking at the Mac Jones' rookie year. He's actually outperforming Drake May by quite a bit.
Yeah, maybe I'll pop on the. Maybe I'll look up the 5 games of the two of them and match it up.
Yeah, they average 27 points a game when Mac Jones is a rookie. So, I like Drake May, but he's so error-prone. He makes me very nervous. I'm just concerned that he doesn't have the skill to really keep it together in the long term.
Drake May doesn't have the skill?
He seems so error-prone.
He doesn't have the skill, though, you think?
I think it's part of the skill in the NFL, is not making mistakes.
No, I know, but
so I think
Mac Jones was mistake prone. I wouldn't call.
Mac Jones ended up being horrible, but his rookie year, he's actually
I know.
Drake May is this year.
And listen, that's another thing to think about. Imagine Drake May with another offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I think that's completely irrelevant. What that caller just brought up. Mac Jones's line as a rookie was David Andrews, Shaq Mason, Trent Brown, Ted Karras, and Isaiah Wynn. All 5 of those guys, I mean, you have a younger David Andrews, who I would say was better than he is now, are significantly better than anything Drake May is working with. You also had, Jacoby Myers, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne was on that team as well. So just 2 completely different situations. Are we really going to get Mac Jones revisionist history?
No.
Is that what we're doing?
No, but Skaz, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you want Van Pelt back or do you want an upgrade? I don't care the name. Do you want an upgrade?
Yeah, well, but the name matters, Joe, because what is an upgrade?
Cliff Kingsbury.
So, no, I don't want Cliff Kingsbury as my offensive coordinator.
Even though that he's worked with all these guys. I know it didn't work with Kyler Murray as a head coach.
Yeah, I think that's more of a lateral move than anything else. If you're going to bring in a guy, like I would much rather Cone or, obviously Ben Johnson's the home run.
The Patriots don't pay him.
Well, then you're not going to get him.
And the thing is, he's going to be the head coach if he comes here.
If you're Cliff Kingsbury, why would you come here to be the OC?
Agree.
You have Jaden Daniels. You have Terry McLaurin.
If I'm Liam Cohen, I don't come here to be the AC, the OC.
But I would say there's more of a reason for him, if the Bucs bring Bowles back, for him to come here. Younger quarterback. He's a local guy.
What about Sean Waldron, who, when he was with Geno Smith...
No, Shane Waldron is he's terrible.
You called him Sean.
He is not good.
I got to put respect on his name. I'm sorry,
Shane Waldron. I'm out on him.
Damn it. He did average 23 points per game with Geno Smith.
Good for him. I'm not interested.
Out. Just a hard out.
Hard out.
Van
on
Pelt
one.
over Waldron?
Yeah, I think Shane Waldron stinks.
What about Luke Getsy?
No. Get anybody that has any ties to the Bears whatsoever, I want nothing to do with.
Bears stink. Out.
Out on the Bears stink.
What about the offensive coordinator that's still on the Bears that hasn't been fired?
Him and the assistant O-line coach there? Yeah, no, thank you.
All right, we'll take a look at the Pats defense. We'll get a lot going on here. I know there's Red Sox stuff, Patriots. We got the Bruins and Celtics as well. We'll get a look at the Sports Hub headlines here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, doubleheader tonight here on the Sports Hub, starting with the Boston Bruins. They begin a 2-game road trip. They are in St. Louis tonight. All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports. I'm Joe Murray. All right, I've done enough Patriots. If you want to continue to keep talking about it, we can at 617-779-0985. The carryover. How did things carry over from last week to this week? I doubted the Patriots last week against the Bears. I'm doing it again. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of flaws when it comes to the Rams. And the Patriots can certainly take advantage of it. Plus, off a loss, short week, West Coast to East Coast, 3 out of 4 lost this year on the road. Patriots and their record at home. There's a lot of meat on the bone when it comes to the Rams and the Patriots. And you know what? Maybe later on this week, because we have a full show on Friday this week, maybe I'll look up all the Rams versus Patriots meetings and how they've all worked out. Because last week I did the Warriors versus Celtics in all of their meetings. And despite a 53-point performance, every single game came down to the buzzer or in overtime or the final possessions. Speaking of that, the NBA Cup, the biggest waste of time in my life. Speaking of waste of time, do you know what the lineup is tonight for the Atlanta Hawks? This is why the Atlanta Hawks suck, right? You ever see Tommy Boy? And he goes, let me tell you why I suck as a salesman. Well, let me tell you why they're an awful franchise. They have this star player named Trae Young who's really not even really a star. Does he lead the league in assists? Absolutely. Can he shoot the ball from half court? Yep. But he's too little. And he really hardly ever makes an impact. Anyways, this is their lineup tonight. Just play. Let's go with it here. Tell me how many people are aware of some of these names. Now, I know at least 4 or 5 of them. Okay? One of them I'll have to look up. But Zachary Risarche was the number 1 pick in the draft this year. He's a Frenchman. Had a 30-point performance last week. He looked average at best against the Celtics when they last played. He is in the starting lineup tonight along with Jalen Johnson, and you'll know this name, Clint Capella. They also have Dyson Daniels and Keaton Wallace. And I listened to Quinn Snyder, who's the coach of the Hawks, and they asked him before the game, hey, how is it tonight playing without 4 starters? And he goes, well, it's kind of like playing without all 3 of your quarterbacks, so we're going to have to run the ball. That was literally his quote. They're 16-point underdogs tonight. 16! I'd like to chase the number. You know what, guys? Tonight's a night where the number 16, all right, chase it, baby. I would hardly ever bet our team that high. Hardly ever. But I would chase it. By the way, the NBA Cup is just stupid. I'm sorry. But forget about my opinion. What's Joe Mazzulla think about it?
Is this something that motivates you? Have you, over a year, have you thought about it? And does it mean more or less? What do you think?
I think every year you'll just look at it from a different perspective. Again, I like the idea of it. You see it around the world. I think the best way to, in my opinion, make it more impactful is to move it away from the 82-game schedule. So it's not just a regular season game. It's something different. You see the other tournaments around the world, they don't count towards your domestic league. And it's its own league entirety. And so that to me is my only negative towards I like it. I think having something like that in the middle of the season is good, especially for a long year. Just that's the difference between what we do here and what you do around the world. So.
Yeah, listen, this is stupid. The court looks really nice. It's Ecto Cooler Green. It's cool, I guess, but some people won't like it. I think this is stupid. And the fact that the Lakers won this thing a year ago and celebrated it is also stupid. And I did make a point last year. I said, wow, if the Celtics don't win this thing, are you going to make a big deal about it? Well, they didn't. They lost to the Pacers, I believe, right? That's when the Pacers became remember them during the NBA Cup? No. It's so important that the Hawks aren't playing 4 of their starters tonight. Yet the Celtics could have sat Al Horford and Jason Tatum tonight, Scaz. What's up with that? Jaylen Brown just back out there. I thought there was the guy you do your podcast with, the Green Teamers. He had a big C concern.
Small C.
Small C?
Small C, I believe.
I thought it was big C.
I think it might have been big C before the Milwaukee game. But yeah, I was a little surprised Tatum and Horford are going to play tonight. I think obviously Horford sits tomorrow night, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tatum sits tomorrow as well. But this is kind of what I like about Tatum and Horford. Like, he's going to play one night of the back-to-backs, play at home, play in front of the home crowd. Tomorrow you go to Brooklyn. Tatum, it feels like he's a guy they're going to have to drag off the floor. That's how he's kind of always been since he's been in the league. But Horford, you're not going to see him on a single back-to-back the rest of his career. He's on the Joel Embiid schedule now. No more Embiid. Yeah, no more back-to-backs.
Don't question him, though.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't question Al Horford.
Not allowed.
So I don't get the schedule. So they win tonight, they play again tomorrow?
No, they play tomorrow regardless. They're in Brooklyn tomorrow night.
So tonight it's at home, then tomorrow it's in Brooklyn.
And I don't even think tomorrow's a League Cup game. I think it's Tuesdays and Fridays.
This is stupid!
Tuesdays and Fridays are your League Cup
How am I supposed
games.
to keep it? Listen, the MAC conference plays football on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. I can keep up with that. This is stupid. You know what I would like? Any player that's played less than 82 games in their career, that's like a part of the roster, you guys play in this NBA Cup thing. And you know what? I don't want it in America. I want it somewhere else. I don't want it in the United States. Play it somewhere else. NBA Cup. I get it. All the leagues, even the NFL's talking about playing in Australia now after playing in Germany and in London and Mexico City and all these places. Am I missing one? Now they played in Abu Dhabi this year. I want to embrace it. I don't want to be negative about it. It's just stupid. What's the positive of playing an NBA Cup? What does it matter to the Boston Celtics, the defending champions? And what? You want me to write an article about why it's important that the Celtics win the NBA Cup? Because it's not. Was it important last year? Was it important for the Lakers, Skaz?
Joe, the Lakers have one more NBA Cup than the Celtics. Don't you want to
Does it matter? I feel like The Rock right now. It doesn't matter what you think. It sucks. It's stupid. That's the first time I ever dropped a rock. It doesn't matter on the show. Ever. This is stupid.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Yes. It doesn't matter. This is stupid. If the Celtics lose tonight to the Hawks, it's embarrassing.
Season's over.
Oh, yeah. They lost to the Hawks without 4 starters tonight.
No, honestly, if they lose tonight, I would be ashamed. The people that paid for these tickets deserve a refund if the Celtics lose tonight.
If I didn't bet the plus 16 or the money line, then I'd stupid. Okay? They lose this one guy. But if they don't win the NBA Cup, it won't change my mind a second, a minimum, any bit at all that they're going to win the championship again this year.
It doesn't matter what you think.
It doesn't even matter. I can play the Linkin Park song if you want that one too. You got the NBA Cup. It's in the middle of the season, and it's really stupid. And in the end, it doesn't even matter because it's stupid. Anything else about this cup that you want to talk about?
What do you think of the court, Joe? You like the new court?
It looks like Ecto Cooler. I used to drink the Hi-C, and then they did a big thing when Ghostbusters came out, and they had the little Slimer on there. It looks like that.
You want the banner if they win? You want them to hang a banner?
No. Know what they can do? Give out little dog bandana banners. Like, just, if they win, just everyone's dog gets a Celtics bandana with the NBA that says NBA Cup. I think the fans would like that.
Do fans care about the NBA Cup?
No.
Who cares about the NBA Cup?
Do you want me to say it? At the top of my lungs screaming? Who cares about the NBA Cup? What's it look like? Does it look like the thing on the court?
Yes.
It looks like that? Where are they going to put it? There's too much stuff up there. They got the rafters and all that. This is stupid. I know we're on the flagship of the Celtics, but still, it's stupid. You know what else is stupid? Thinking that the Red Sox could be in on Juan Soto. We'll tell you about that coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Got a steal. Soto, a high fly ball to center. Thomas backing up. Thomas at the track. And Juan Soto! A 3-run home run! Soto magic in Game 5! An incredible moment as Juan Soto goes deep to give the Yankees a 5-2 lead in the 10th inning.
All right, back here 98.5, the Sports Hub. Hey, I've been kind of holding out on the Red Sox stuff until they do something. So I want to be fair because I know there's a lot of listeners who want to talk about it, but quite frankly, I don't. But when Juan Soto gets brought up, I'm a little surprised, but unsurprisingly, the Red Sox aren't the only team that's going to get a seat at the negotiating table when it comes to Juan Soto. They're not even the only team in the American League East, by the way, fresh off a World Series appearance and, of course, with the New York Yankees. But the Toronto Blue Jays, viewed by many to be favored to land Juan Soto. But he'll be the first place that he does interview is the Toronto Blue Jays. And if Toronto is an obstacle for the Red Sox, I'm out. The Toronto Blue Jays should not be an obstacle for the Yankees or the Red Sox. They've had difficulty luring superstars. I'm sure the geography, the finances, and all the tax rate, because that's all I ever hear about nowadays and that stuff. Toronto is desperate for offensive help. They went 74-88 last year. Vlad Guerrero Jr. Could use somebody with him, right? But this is just John Heyman talking. So take it for what it's worth. But the Red Sox are definitely letting us know that ownership is committed. They want to secure a high-level player, and they're planning on being very active in the free agent market. That, according to Scott Boras as well. I'm not buying it. You mean to tell me that the same franchise that wouldn't pay pitchers in their 30s and then paid pitchers in their 30s would give this guy a 13-year contract? Hey, I'm all for it. If they signed Juan Soto, I'm in. I'd be all over it. And that could make up for a lot of years of doing nothing. I won't buy it. And I got some odds for you coming up in a little bit, but we have this Slack channel, all of us, where we just throw Red Sox news in there because it's all crap until it happens. Crap. It's all crap until it happens. But there are odds out there, and our intern Joe did a nice little job. Alex Bregman, if not the Astros, 8-1 odds with the Red Sox. Blake Snell, 7-1 odds with the Red Sox. Corbin Burns, 11-2 odds, plus 550. How about Pete Alonso? Remember him? 11-1. Willie Adams. I'm just giving you these numbers. Plus 650. If they get one of those guys, I'll be shocked. One. But if they get Juan Soto, Skaz, I've been dipping toes in the Red Sox water. I think I dipped my foot in.
Joe, if they sign Soto, you're cannonballing. You're not sticking your toes in. You're all in if they sign Juan Soto.
I don't know about a cannonball yet.
Joe, isn't Juan Soto the exact type of move that we've been killing them for not doing?
But it's one player.
Yeah, but it sets the precedent that you're signing that guy, a planet player, for
I get it.
An insane amount of money.
If they're going to sign him, they got to do the rest of the moves.
You get him and a starting pitcher.
They got him and Burns. I'd be in.
Bring the kids up. Yeah, I mean, now it's just, it feels so far removed from being that Red Sox team that it's even hard to believe. Like, I'm kind of with Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy's been all over this, tweeting like, how dumb do they think Red Sox fans are?
Yes.
How stupid do people believe Red Sox fans are? And yeah, I'm kind of with that too. But this almost seems like too much smoke even for them. I know we got the full throttle comments last year, and then look how that turned out. But I like to think, and I know this is blasphemy, but I like to think that John Henry is at least somewhat PR conscious, has at least somewhat of an idea of how bad it has gotten, the public perception of him, that he knows that he needs to do something, anything this offseason to turn that around. And maybe we're too far past that and John Henry's just, a lost cause. The Red Sox are just something in his portfolio. But as a Red Sox fan, I'm holding out hope that John Henry, maybe he watched 4 Days in October, and he got emotional.
And then he realized he was a jerk.
Yeah, he realized, that was pretty cool when we were like winning. That was nice. I like doing that.
All right, we got to hit the headline here. I gave you those odds. I know that people now want to talk about the Red Sox. I don't. Until they do something. I'll talk about how much they don't do anything. If they do something, I will talk about it. Let's get to the headlines here. We'll tell you what's going on tonight here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, the Patriots.
Into the end zone.
Here.
Touchdown for the Patriots.
WBC FM and HD Boston 98.5 The Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
The NBA Cup between the Celtics and Hawks about to get underway. It's going to be on 105.7 tonight. The Hawks are without Trae Young and 4 starters, but Al Horford and Jason Tatum will be in the lineup. They'll play tonight, so that's very good. The Bruins will also play tonight. We'll hand things over to Ryan Johnson and Bob Beers in about 30 minutes. And then they'll play in St. Louis tonight. Meet me in St. Louis. And the Patriots gearing up for the game with the Rams. Rams lost to the Dolphins last night. And how about Navy Notre Dame Halloween Day 2026 in headlines? They are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray, and your next update, Durham Bruins.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today.
Back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. The hope for Red Sox fans is out. Now I know why we haven't done much Red Sox here on the show. Because you guys have hope. Hope can be a terrible thing. It can be a wonderful thing. Just like Shawshank Redemption said. But I see our buddy Einbein, who I love, listens every single night. Shout out to you, bro. I always will hold out hope. I'm not so damaged that I don't believe Soto will happen. I lived through decades of crap. And most of my cynicism left after 2004. No, mine has grown. I want more. I want more. 04, 07, 13, 18. I want more. More. The Patriots gave us a lot. And I want more. The Celtics won last year. I want more. You know what? The Bruins have one cup in 40 years. I want more. More. And you know what? Sports in this town's pretty big, right? Look at the ratings on the station. People love sports talk. They'll go to the games. I don't really go to Fenway anymore. I don't like the experience. But you know what? You still go. You still support the team. They don't really spend anymore, but you guys certainly do. I want them to be in on Soto. I do. I want them to be in on it. And I'm glad that they're one of the teams that will be able to have a seat at the table. But it would really turn things if Soto came. You know, there are some, things that aren't great about this. Like, look at Rafael Devers' deal. I mean, I know you had to do it. You were forced to do it. Are they forced to do this? I mean, they've been preaching these young kids for so long. Then you go out and spend on Soto? Again, I would be happy if they landed Soto. I just have my doubts. 617-779-0985. Dylan's in the car. Hey, Dylan.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. I agree. Believe it when you see it with the Soto talk. But if Henry's goal is to stay below the luxury tax, we are one of the few teams at that table that can afford Juan Soto and other key pieces and still stay under the luxury tax.
Good point.
We're projected to have $72 million in payroll to spend this offseason. Doesn't mean we will.
Mm-hmm.
But
Dylan, that might be the selling point to people like me, right? Or the people that I'll wait for them to do it. Well, the selling point is that they can spend the money and still be below the threshold, which that's all they care about, right? Realistically,
Absolutely.
the way they run their business is being below the threshold. And so I'm kind of in on that. Like, that's a great point. I never really thought about it like that. They could spend all the money they want as long as they're under. All right, good call, Dylan. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Man. Yeah, thank you. Look at that. That's a damn good Red Sox caller right there. How close do they want to get to the threshold, though? I don't know. It might get in the way of our buddy Pipes O'Neill coming back, Skaz.
I think I could survive a season without Pipes O'Neill.
Even without Soto, right?
Yeah, even if we don't get Juan Soto, I'm not clamoring for the return of Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah. What about Pivetta? Is he going to turn down $21 million?
Joe, I'm surprised when anyone turns down $21 million, so you never know. But no, I think Nick Pivetta feels like a guy that could be back here next year.
I feel like J.D. Drew did that. He turned down this deal with the Cardinals, and everyone's like, "What the hell?" And then he signed a monster deal with the Red Sox, and it was like, "Oh, that's why he turned it down." Oh yeah. Again, J.D. Drew was one of the greatest ball players I ever saw in my life.
He had stretches where he was the best player in baseball.
No, but his the way that he would catch the ball on a knee in the outfield. His swing, the way he threw to a cutoff man.
Also a guy that just didn't really like baseball. And that's what I liked about him.
No emotion at all.
They won the World Series. He gave a quick fist bump and jogged it on in.
Did they win? Did they have brothers win championships?
I don't think Steven Drew won one, but no. I could be wrong.
Yeah, whatever. Who was better, Steven or Jamie?
Oh, I'm being told by Steven Drew did win one.
Steven Drew did win one. There we go. It's a family affair, damn it.
13. He was here in 13.
Oh, that's right, because I think he played a little second base. Who else did they have? They had in 18. Who was the guy that Pedroia beat out in college? And Michael Young, was he on the? He was on the Red Sox, right? At one point too. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
This is what you have to do with the Red Sox. You have to reminisce. You talk about teams in the past.
I got to talk about great second basemen of the past. Mark Bellhorn, right? Todd Walker. Mark Loretta. Oh, I can give you Pokey Reese. I can give you all of them.
Eduardo Perez.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
Eduardo Nunez.
Back in my day, it was Jody Reed and Scott Fletcher. I don't know who else was on the team. I have a random Celtics take. And there's some Bruins stuff out there. The ballot is out, or the nominees for the NHL Hall of Fame. There's some interesting names on there. Well, I'll get into that. The Bees play tonight as well, and I do have one Celtics thought. We're here for another 15 minutes or so. I'm Joe Murray. You are listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way.
Make a trip to Nashua, maybe. Get some hidden pig on the way home. Oh, anyways, speaking of Duke, Jason Tatum working out or trying to become an owner in the WNBA. Putting up $200 million. A $300 million man. This is where I'm going with this. Good for him. Jason Tatum always giving back to St. Louis. Always giving back to St. Louis. Now, can you hear it in my voice a little bit there? The sarcasm? St. Louis this, St. Louis that. Michael Corleone said this. Michael Corleone says that. He's always doing stuff in St. Louis. Great. It's a WNBA franchise. Not going to happen here. Skaz, I feel like it's the only thing that could take Tatum away from Boston is if there ever was a St. Louis men's franchise.
And Joe, I think you can take a deep breath. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I don't think you should have any issues with Jason Tatum trying to build up his community and get a WNBA team in St. Louis. I see no negatives here.
I don't know what's going to.
I believe the Celtics are happily partnership with the Connecticut Sun, our friends over at NBC Sports Boston. So I think there's mixed feelings on a WNBA team in Boston.
My take is, besides injury, okay, and the salary cap, what else can get in the middle of Tatum and Brown? What else? This is a real reach, right? This is a real reach. But you better hope there is no St. Louis franchise. Like, could the New Orleans Pelicans move there? Could somebody move there? I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying. I know, I reached. I get it, everybody. But he does a lot of stuff with St. Louis, huh? Just, I guess it really doesn't bother me. It's just noticeable. That's all. Very noticeable. That was a hard reach, huh?
Throw your arm out, Joe.
Better hope there's no St. Louis basketball team going to take away our Jason Tatum.
I also have to say, let's play the scenario out. If there was a expansion team, I have to imagine the Celtics would not allow for Jason Tatum to be picked in that expansion draft.
I mean, hey, listen, Dominique Wilkins wasn't. Hakeem Olajuwon wasn't protected from Houston, and he played for the Raptors. They leave a lot of guys available during these expansion drafts.
I have to go out on a limb and say Jason Tatum would not be one of those guys.
Listen, I wanted to be the first to say it, okay? Leave it at that. The NBA Cup's tonight, blah, 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 blah.
You're pumped. You're excited for it.
I think it's stupid. And you know what else, too? You ever notice, like, when the Celtics win the Patriots used to win the AFC Championship and they'd have that little thing? No one ever wanted that. That was a prop.
Oh, like the Lamar Hunt trophy, I believe.
Nobody wants that thing.
Jonathan, they just like toss that thing around.
Nobody wants that. So what? You want to be tied with the Lakers for an NBA banner? Out. Come on. Out. Now, do I think that all tournaments you should try to win? Yeah. This one, stupid. Before we get out of here, did you see the 2025 Hall of Fame candidates? The list, the first timers? Couple of former Bruins on this list, everybody. Why don't we go over it? Joe Thornton, absolute Hall of Famer.
100%.
Absolute. Started his career in Boston. What was a worse trade, Joe Thornton trade or Mookie Betts? It's probably Betts because he's won so many. But Thornton played a lot of years for a lot of good teams. And, he was their young number one overall pick and let him just bounce. How about another name on this list? Zdeno Chara.
No doubter.
So you got Joe Thornton, first-timer. Zdeno Chara. I don't know if he'd be a first ballot. But how about this name right here that's also on the list? Tuukka Rask. If you had to choose one, Joe Thornton, Zdeno Chara, Tuukka Rask, I ask you, James Scaramuzzino, you have to choose one of those to be in first. Who would it be?
I think all three should and will get in. That's a tough one, Joe. Probably Chara if I had to pick of the three. I think Thornton. I think Chara and Thornton are both first ballot no doubters. I think Tuukka should be as well. I know that's probably not popular opinion, but if you by every single metric of goalies, other than winning the Stanley Cup because his team couldn't score on Jordan Binnington, Tuukka Rask is one of the best goalies of all time. So yeah, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Joe Thornton never won a Stanley Cup. 24 years in the league, never won a cup. Does that stuff go a long way in the Hall of Fame? I actually don't know that when it comes to the NHL Hall of Fame. I think sometimes they just look at the numbers. Tuukka Rask, though, you look at his numbers, he has a Stanley Cup. Chara was the captain of a Stanley Cup team. I don't know. Maybe this is an article we can write or continue this tomorrow night here on the show. But first time nominees for the NHL Hall of Fame. 3 former Bruins are on the list. And it is Joe Thornton, Zdeno Chara, and Tuukka Rask. Just some of the other names that are on there. Duncan Keith, Eric Stahl, Dustin Brown, Getzlaf, and Carey Price is the other one. So I wanted to just mention those odds. Also, Skaz, you asked me something the other day, but is Hampus Lindholm the best player on the Bruins right now? I mean, the way listen, I get it. It's Pastrnak, right? But Hampus Lindholm has 3 5-on-5 goals this year. It puts him second on the Bruins after Cole Koepke. Lindholm plays almost 22 minutes a night. It's second behind Charlie McAvoy. But 5-on-5, the Bruins have outscored opponents 11-7 with Lindholm on the ice. I mean, I look at it and I say, wow, he's really progressed this year. This is the Lindholm that's playing better? And Jim Montgomery even confirmed it as well, that Lindholm is the team's most impactful player through 16 games. And, was pretty good in that Ottawa Senators loss. He mentioned how much more assertive he is. And having a shot first mentality. Lindholm scored just 1 5-on-5 goal last year. And his 23 minors were third most on the team because he was chasing a ton. And, I mean, I think Lindholm's been very good on the offensive end. But he's definitely taken that next step. And maybe now the number 1 power play unit was there the other night. The 30th ranked power play needs some juice. And McAvoy has absolutely struggled there. He's been just too much decisiveness. Just doesn't know what he wants to do. So Lindholm now gets the crack on the power play tonight. But just another question to throw out there. If Hampus Lindholm is your best player, how good are you? Just another thing to add to that. When it comes to the roster, there's a lot of holes.